Alright, Tommy Cowett, the real alien Tom from Outer Space Landscape, back with you for another exciting episode. And today we're going to be planting our fall greens, our fall garden. Show you some of the plants. We're going to be seeding the beds, and here's some seed packets. One of my favorites, the collards and the kale. They're probably my favorite next to the bok choy. And then I'll throw in some lettuce beds, Brussels sprouts, arugula, some spinach, mesclun. I think I'm going to try some carrots and some sweet peas and things like that fall. But let me show you where we're at. This is this year's attempt at gardening. Got a lot of rain. This is the end of it. To stop some of the septorial leaf spot that we encountered this year. Focus in on that a little bit. It really devastated these tomatoes. It was a battle all summer long. A little bit of Swiss chard there left. Same thing with the cucumbers. We did do really well. Got a lot of cucumbers, and there's still some coming in. And since they're trellised up, I'm not going to take them down yet. But the end of the pretty much gone. This was zucchini. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. That's where my other product, my other that's a compost pile. You've seen that before in other videos. Here's the little backyard garden. Some Linton roses, some mondo grass. But I had my other squash growing there, and I've been trellising these. Cucumbers are still coming in, so I'm not going to pull that all yet. But I need to fortify these beds again. So what I'm planning on doing in this episode is we'll clean up these big buckets. Take a look at some of these worms in here. Look at that. This is compost made here on my property. And look at the millions of worms. This is all full. I'll fortify these a little bit with some rock dust, AZOMITE. I'm also going to throw in some kelp into the mix. I'm adding vermicompost, which is worm castings, to it. I'll also be adding some regular humus compost from my compost pile. And let's get started here. I'm actually also, as a bonus here, I'm going to set up a drip irrigation system. Right now I have a drip system, but it's this type, which is a spray. And I can actually turn this on and off. I'm not going to abandon it completely. It's all hooked up to this 1/2-inch hose. I'm going to run a loop into each one of these beds here with a bubbler emitter approximately every other foot to just water from below. No surface water. I'm tired of having to deal with disease from splash, and it's just gotten out of hand this year, and no more surface water. Let's try to wet the soil and keep the moisture for the most part off the plants. So let me get started here and I'll show you what I'm doing. Hey folks, here's something I want to share with you while I'm fortifying these beds in the process of cultivating them and cleaning them up. This is Ajuga. I collected one plant from a yard back in probably January and just dropped it right here in the corner of the bed, and now I've got about probably 2 dozen. But I'm going to take them right now and transplant them over to my other raised bed garden and get them out of the way for my greens. Alright folks, now I'm just fortifying these beds here in a minute. Just want to show you what I do. It's pretty simple. I'll just lightly turn it over. See if you can see some of the worm activity in here where I've disturbed it, but I've already turned this once. So they're probably going deep, but they're here. I want to show you. I just do a slight turn, and I like to use a potato rake to break up any of these, any of the big clumps. I've already pretty much done it in here. There's one, and just get it worked up. And then I'll run this little garden weevil over one last time to give it a good little breaking up some more of the clumps and give me maybe even some rows that I can plant in. But these are the 3 implements I'll use to get these beds ready. Well, now I want to talk about what I'm putting in these beds. Here, I've got 3 different products here I want to show you. This is the big yellow compost that's available at a company locally here called Supersod. You could buy this material in a 1-ton bulk bag they'll deliver to your yard. It's really good looking stuff. And I would highly recommend using that if you can't make your own. These are worm castings from Boonville Organics here, local. They make this down east in eastern North Carolina on a pig farm. And what it is vermicomposting, and these are worm castings, worm poop. And it is one of the most highly nutritional supplements for plants. This is a compost that I picked up from a trade show this year from McGill. And they make a good compost, but as you can see, there's a lot of chunks in that. Look down here at this compost made on a farm, the sod farm. That's much finer. This has a lot of chunk in it, and so I just want to compare that. Also, it's a water-saving property. So if you see these little white pieces, that is probably like a material that will hold water. And then this, last but not least, is mine. This is the compost I'm making right here on site, and it's, as you can see, it's not as refined as some of these, but that's homemade. So that's what these beds are primarily made of. So I'm going to add a little bit of the vermiculture, the worm castings, and my compost is already in it. Just wanted to compare a couple other composts that look really good. I'm also going to be adding, you can see that, azomite. The A to Z of minerals, including trace elements, is what azomite stands for. And this is what it looks like. This is like a volcanic material. It's a mineral. And basically what I'm going to do is sprinkle this all around and work it into the soil. The rate is about 10 pounds per 100 square feet, but you can go as high as you want with that. Another thing I'm going to be adding is this product called Nature's Nog. And it contains seaweed. It's kelp. That's what this is. It's derived from kelp. And you can incorporate this directly into your soil. It also contains humic acid, which is derived from a specialized type of coal called leonardite. And that is mined out in New Mexico, Arizona desert. So we'll be adding those. Show you how just with the Nature's Nog, it's got a nice little, I'll show you a little bit. It's very safe. That's what it looks like. Just little granules. And I'm going to be applying them to the soil and working it in prior to doing that. So I'll get started. I'm going to go ahead and apply the material, work it in a little bit, and then we'll get started seeding. Okay, see you in a bit. Alright folks, it's getting hot out here and I'm running out of time on this video. I'm going to finish it up before I get into another video with the irrigation system and the actual planting. I want to talk a little bit about nutrient supplementation for these beds. What we're talking about here is a completely organic soil here derived from plant material. Of course, I use leaves to make my own bunny compost. That's primarily what these were. And von Liebig, the father of modern agriculture, once said that plant growth at its optimum is only limited by the least abundant mineral in the soil. And if you go back to an earlier video that I did about making bunny compost and how he changed my life, this is what I used to do. Used to use Miracle Grow and synthetic forms of fertilizer. Now I do realize I must add the azomite. That contains all the plant minerals that my plants are going to need to make it through. And give them every possible thing that they could possibly need to grow at their optimum. Because that's our goal, is to have optimum plant growth. And this year I was successful in growing a few large zucchini, lots of tomatoes, some cucumbers, and everything worked out. My leafy greens will do so much better here because I am limited on light. As you can see, it's about halfway covered and it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm limited on light, but I'm going to give these plants everything they need in the soil to grow at their optimum. Leafy greens don't require as much full sun and they'll do great here. And I'm limited on the fruits that I can grow here, but I still try. Anyway, Tommy Cowett signing out. We'll get to the next video showing you the irrigation system, the drip system, as well as the seeding procedures for this fall's greens. Anyway, signing out. I hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll look forward to seeing you later. Bye-bye.